What's going on, everybody? This is Justin back with you yet again, here to do a two-in-one video here, which is going to be a showcasing of my Sega Genesis and my Sega CD collection. I tried this before, but for some reason the video stopped on me. But I'll just go ahead and showcase it all over again anyway. First up is a game that I don't think works too well anymore, or at all. Maybe not anymore, but anyway, it does work for a little bit. The Adventures of Batman and Robin. Which is what I hear is very difficult. Up next is Arrow the Acrobat. Nothing to say about this one. I haven't played it all that much, but up next is another one I haven't played too much of, but I have it for the Genesis anyway. That is Alicia Dragoon. And up next is one of the hardest Genesis games ever, and that being Altered Beast. Now, this game came out on the arcade back in the day too, I believe as well. So, yeah, I never played the arcade version, but this version is pretty difficult. Booger Man, which there does exist a Super Nintendo version of this as well. But I think this version seems to be the better one. I don't have the Super Nintendo version. Now, next up, if you've been a fan of me for quite some time, if you've followed my channel for quite a long time, you'll know that I love this particular series, and that being Castlevania. This one is called Castlevania Bloodlines. Which I was actually playing this last night and I finished it. I actually did it on my last continue on my last life too, so that's pretty, I don't know about impressive, but Up next is Contra Hardcore. Now, I did not write on this cartridge here, but someone else did. But this is one of the hardest Genesis games ever. I cannot, for the life of me, get past the first level, no matter which character I play. But it's still a good game. Up next is a Disney-based game. It's also out for the Super Nintendo, but this version is actually better, in my opinion. That is Aladdin. Yeah. Oh, and I forgot to mention, too, that some of these I do have the boxes for, but they're stored away in a storage building. But Disney's Aladdin is one of the best Disney games ever, for the Genesis anyway. Up next is Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, which I'm not very good at this one, but I still think it's a good game. This is actually based off of not based off of. Well, actually, I will say it this way: there was a game for the Sega Mega Drive in Japan and maybe in Europe called Puyo Puyo, and we didn't get that here, but we did get this game along with the Super Nintendo version under the Kirby series, which I don't remember the name of that. Up next is The Family Feud, based off the Ray Combs version. And, yeah, this is pretty good. Up next is the Genesis 6-pack, which includes Sonic the Hedgehog, Golden Axe, Streets of Rage, Revenge of Shinobi, Columns, and Super Hang-On. Which I beat Sonic on this, but I haven't beat the rest of them. Gunstar Heroes. Not much to say about this one. Up next is a game based off a game show that started the season this year, just recently. I think it's in its 37th year, if I'm not mistaken, and that is Jeopardy! There is a Super Nintendo version of this as well, which I have won it once, but I haven't won at this one yet by myself anyway. And next is the deluxe edition of Jeopardy!, also on the Super Nintendo, which you see me unbox this one on YouTube. Actually, I think I showed Jeopardy! Deluxe Edition, didn't I? Well, if I didn't, here it is. Sorry, my mind is just not working right now. Up next is the Sports Edition of Jeopardy! Which is probably the toughest one of all of these, because I'm not real big into sports. The Lion King. I forgot to mention too that this game, along with the Super Nintendo version of The Lion King and the Genesis version of Aladdin, have all been released for the Switch, PS4, and Xbox One, which I have the Switch version. Up next is Michael Jackson's Moonwalker, which the AVGN did a video of this game. And his cat passed away too, so may he rest in peace. Cat was in the episode, by the way. Up next is Mortal Kombat, which this version may be the better version of the two on the Super Nintendo as well. Mortal Kombat 2. Another good one. I think I have the Super Nintendo version as well. Mortal Kombat 3, which is the third game in the series. Don't have the regular edition of this game, but I have the NBA Jam Tournament Edition, which is actually a pretty good basketball game. One of the better ones to come out on both the Genesis and the Super Nintendo. I believe there's a remake of that as well now, too. Excuse me. Up next is, I think, the not-for-resale version. You can't really see it well because, yeah, I think I can see it. It's not for resale. But there's a lot of gunk on it. That is Sonic the Hedgehog. Which is actually pretty good. I've beaten it a few times. Up next is another Sonic game, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, which is probably the best game in the classic Sonic series. I know a lot of other people would say that Sonic 3 and Knuckles is the best one. And speaking of Sonic 3, here it is right here. Now this is the Mega Hits version. So in other words, it's the greatest hits version, which is a little bit unfortunate. But that's alright. Still works. Sonic and Knuckles, which you can hook up Sonic 3 on here to play Sonic 3 and Knuckles. I almost beat this game with this game hooked up one time, but didn't. Up next is another kind of difficult game. This game is also out for the X68000, I believe, and that is Strider. Which, this is a good game right here. It's kind of difficult though, like I said. I believe I said it anyway. Next up, Ninja Turtles: The Hyperstone Heist, which I believe my friend Steve has this one along with Jeopardy! Sports Edition. So, yep. Now we got the second bin, which doesn't have that many games in it. Up next is a game that my friend Matthew did a full review of, which I was playing last night on YouTube, and that is Tiny Toon Adventures: Buster's Hidden Treasure. probably the best Tiny Toon Adventures game. Because it is also this game. There's also Buster Bust Loose on the Super Nintendo and a few other Genesis Tiny Toon games as well. In addition to being 2 on the NES, which I have the first one. Up next is Toy Story, which also came out for the Super Nintendo. Both versions actually are pretty good. This one is probably a little bit harder because you can only carry up to 9 lives in this version, and the claw machine on this version, the claw boss fight, has a cord on it on this version, which doesn't have it on the Super Nintendo. Next, I don't have the first game of this series, but I do have the second game, and that is Victor Man 2. But I have played the first one, I believe, on the Sonic Gems collection. I believe that's where it was on. Up next, and there's only 2 games left, and it is Wheel of Fortune, which started the 38th season earlier this month. This is a pretty good game. Up next, and this is the final game of my Genesis collection, and this is actually a sort of a reproduction cartridge kind of thing. It's a 25th anniversary Sonic the Hedgehog collection, 2016 Super Hits 35 in 1. Which, I can't remember all the games, but I think one of the Donald Duck games is on that one, along with Sonic 3D Blast and the Earthworm Jim games. So that's it for the Genesis collection. Now we're going to go to the Sega CD collection, which I only have 3 games to show. The first game is Jeopardy, which is probably the toughest Jeopardy game ever, along with the N64 Jeopardy game. But, it's pretty good if you like that stuff. Up next is Sonic CD, which is probably the best game on this Sega CD, actually. Some might say anyway. I actually beat it last night, too, for the second time. Oh, shoot, sorry. And you can see it right here. The last one is Wheel of Fortune, which is one of the best versions of Wheel of Fortune ever. And there you have it for my Sega Genesis and my Sega CD collection. I will see y'all for my next video.